वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वकतः कृष्णपुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदयन्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सतां नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवय भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 26, Text 23. सात्वं मुखं शुदति शुभ्रवनुरागभार व्रीडा विलम्बविलसद्दशितावलोकम् नीलालकालिभिरुपष्कृतमुन्नसं नः स्वानां प्रदर्शय मनस्विनी वल्गुवाक्यम् सात्वं मुखं शुदति शुभ्रवनुरागभार व्रीडा विलम्बविलसद्दशितावलोकम् नीलालकालिभिरुपष्कृतमुन्नसं नः स्वानां प्रदर्शय मनस्विनि वल्गुवाक्यम् सात्वं मुखं शुदति शुभ्रवनुरागभार व्रीडा विलम्बविलसद्दशिताविलोकम् नीलालकालिभिरुपष्कृतमुन्नसं नः स्वानां प्रदर्शय मनस्विनी वल्गुवाक्यम्. Synonyms. Sa, that you, my wife. Tvam, you. Mukham, your face. Sudati, with beautiful teeth. Subruhu, with beautiful eyebrows. Anuraga, attachment. Bhara, loaded by. Vrida, feminine shyness. Vilamba, hanging down. Vilasat, shining. Hasita, smiling. Avalokam, with glances. Neela, bluish. Alaka, with hair. Alibihi, be like. Upashkritam, thus being beautiful. Unnasam, with a raised nose. Naha, to me. Swanam, who am yours. Pradarshaya, please show. Manaswini, O thoughtful lady. Valguvakyam, with sweet words. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. My dear wife, your teeth are very beautifully set, and your attractive features make you appear very thoughtful. Kindly give up your anger, be merciful upon me, and please smile upon me with loving attachment. When I see a smile on your beautiful face, and when I see your hair, which is as beautiful as the color blue, and see your raised nose and hear your sweet talk, you will become more beautiful to me and thus attract me and oblige me. You are my most respected mistress. Purport. An effeminate husband, simply being attracted by the external beauty of his wife, tries to become her most obedient servant. Sripad Shankaracharya has therefore advised that we not become attracted by a lump of flesh and blood. The story is told that at one time a man, very much attracted to a beautiful woman, wooed the woman in such a way that she devised a plan to show him the ingredients of her beauty. The woman made a date to see him, and before seeing him, she took a purgative, and that whole day and night she simply passed stool and she preserved that stool in a pot. The next night, when the man came to see her, she appeared very ugly and emaciated. When the man inquired from her about the woman with whom he had an engagement, she replied, I am that very woman. The man refused to believe her, not knowing that she had lost all her beauty due to the violent purgative that caused her to pass stool day and night. When the man began to argue with her, the woman said that she was not looking beautiful because she was separated from the ingredients of her beauty. When the man asked how she could be so separated, the woman said, come on, I'll show you. She then showed him the pot filled with liquid stool and vomit. Thus, the man became aware that a beautiful woman is simply a lump of matter composed of blood, stool, urine, and similar other disgusting ingredients. This is the actual fact, but in a state of illusion, man becomes attracted by illusory beauty and becomes a victim of Maya. King Puranjana begged this queen to return to her original beauty. He tried to revive her just as a living entity tries to revive his original consciousness, Krishna consciousness, which is very beautiful. All the beautiful features of the queen could be compared to the beautiful features of Krishna consciousness. When one returns to his original Krishna consciousness, he becomes steady and his life becomes successful. Text 24. तस्मिन् ददे दमनहं तव वीरपत्नी योऽन्यत्र भूषुरकुलत्कुलात् कृतकिल्बिषस्तं पश्येन वीतभयमुन्मुदितं त्रिलोक्याम् अन्यत्र वै मुररिपो इतरत्र दाशात् तस्मिन् ददे दमनहं तव वीरपत्नी योऽन्यत्र भूसुरकुलात् कृतकिल्बिषस्तं पश्येन वीतभयमुन्मुदितं त्रिलोक्याम् अन्यत्र वै मुररिपोरितरत्र धाशात् तस्मिन् ददे दमनहं तव वीरपत्नी योऽन्यत्र भूसुरकुलात् कृतकिल्बिषस्तं पश्येन वीतभयमुन्मुदितं त्रिलोक्याम् अन्यत्र वै मुररिपोरितरत्र धाशात् Synonyms. Tasmin, unto him, dade, shall, daman, tamam, punishment. Aham, I, Tava, to you, Veerapatni, O wife of the hero, Yaha, one who, Anyatra, besides, Bhusurakulat, from the group of demigods on this earth, the Brahmanas, Krita, done, Kilbishaha, offense, Tam, him, Pashye, I see, Na, not, Vita, without, Vayam, fear, Unmuditam, without anxiety, Trilokyam, within the three worlds, Anyatra, elsewhere, Why, certainly, Muraripoho, of the enemy of Mura, Krishna, Itaratra, on the other hand, Dashat, than the servant. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O hero's wife, kindly tell me if someone has offended you. I am prepared to give such a person punishment as long as he does not belong to the Brahmana caste, but for servant of Muraripu Krishna. I excuse no one within or beyond these three worlds. No one can freely move after offending you, for I am prepared to punish him. Purport. According to the Vedic civilization, a Brahmana or one who is properly qualified to understand the absolute truth, that is, one belonging to the most intelligent social order, as well as the devotee of Lord Krishna, is known as Muradvisha, enemy of demon named Mura, is not subject to the rules and regulations of the state. In other words, upon breaking the laws of a state, everyone can be punished by the government except the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Brahmanas and Vaishnavas never transgress the laws of the state or the laws of nature because they know perfectly well the resultant actions caused by such law breaking. Even though they may sometimes appear to violate the laws, they are not to be punished by the king. This instruction was given to King Prachina Barisat by Narada Muni. King Puranjana was a representative of King Prachina Barisat, and Narada Muni was reminding King Prachina Barisat of his forefather, Maharaj Prithu, who never chastised a Brahmana or a Vaishnava. Once pure intelligence or pure Krishna consciousness becomes polluted by material activities, pure consciousness can be revived by the process of sacrifice, charity, pious activities, etc. But when one pollutes his Krishna consciousness by offending a Brahmana or a Vaishnava, it is very difficult to revive. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described the Vaishnava Parada or offense to the Vaishnava as the mad elephant offense. One should be very careful not to offend a Vaishnava or Brahmana. Even the great yogi Durvasa was harassed by Sudarshan Chakra when he offended the Vaishnava Maharaj Ambarish, who was neither a Brahmana nor a sannyasi but an ordinary householder. Maharaj Ambarisha was a Vaishnava and consequently Durvasa was chastised. The conclusion is that if Krishna consciousness is covered by material sins, one can eliminate the sins simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. But if one pollutes his Krishna consciousness by offending a Brahmana or a Vaishnava, one cannot revive it until one properly atones for the sin by pleasing the offended Brahmana or Vaishnava. This was the course that Durvasa Muni had to follow, or for he surrendered unto Maharaj Ambarisha. A Vaishnava aparadha cannot be atoned for by any means other than by begging the pardon of offended Vaishnava. नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I humbly bow down to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. So, in terms of context, so we are in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. and chapter 26. So we're going to discuss text 23 and 24. So we read the purport, and the purport is very fully loaded. Srila Prabhupada has given a lot of instructions in the purport, exemplifying what is being spoken about here. So, in terms of context, we are in the Puranjana Katha, where the King Puranjana is the Jiva. It's an allegorical story where King Puranjana is the Jiva, and the queen here represented is this Buddhi or intelligence. So in the story, it's mentioned that King Puranjana returns from hunting and he finds that this queen or the Buddhi is upset. And in the previous verses from text 12 to 24, we saw how the king is trying to in this section which we're discussing, we saw how the king is trying to pacify her. So in text 23, there is ornate flattery of the queen's beauty, and the king is talking about how the beautiful teeth, the beautiful eyebrows, and the sweet words. And the allegory which we need to understand here is that the jiva, which is Puranjana, is trying to charm Buddhi, which is the material intelligence. So the material intelligence is trying to get attached to the material world, and the jiva is trying to charm the buddhi. And in text 24, there is a vow of protection which the jiva gives. It says, the Puranjana says here, tell me who offended you, I'll punish him, except a brahmana or servant of Krishna. So the core message here is that material desires first try to seduce the intelligence with so in this case it's the aesthetics and the emotion, and then it binds the soul, binds the jiva with with a pledge of protection and partisanship. So Srimad Bhagavatam exposes this psychology, and it says that while, and it also says that even though there's only one recourse, even if the jiva is captivated by the material intelligence, the only recourse is that by worshipping the Brahmanas or the Vaishnavas, because the Puranjana here says that anybody besides these who captivates you, I'll finish them. So the core message of the two verses here is that the real beauty and safety are regained when the buddhi is recentered in Krishna consciousness. So there are a lot of things we can take from Srila Prabhupada's purport here. So Srila Prabhupada gives this beautiful analogy or explanation about how beauty is skin deep. So we've heard about this particular adage where it says beauty is skin deep. So whatever we see beautiful in this world is only skin deep. So Srila Prabhupada quotes this example of this a man and a woman trying to have a date, and this particular woman, the man was extremely captivated by her, and this explanation is about how she taught him a lesson on the fact that the beauty is just skin deep, right? So there, Shankaracharya explains about this pot story, and he tries to deconstruct this bodily glamour and how beauty is just rearranged matter. So, and to see the positive turn here, when the intelligence serves Krishna consciousness, then life becomes steady and successful. So there are multiple verses we can quote here. So one verse which comes to my mind is the from the teachings of Rishabhadeva. So Rishabhadeva, when he's instructing his sons, he says, "Pumsham striya mituni bhavametam tayormita hridaya grantim ahu ato griha kshetra suta pavittair janasya mohoyam aham mameti." So here, Rishabhadeva says the basic principle which is causing us to be bound in this material world is the attraction which is between male and the female. So that's the first attraction. Because of that, then one gets this when gets bound is this illusion of considering that this is me and this is mine. That's what he says. Aham mameti. Janasya mohoyam ayam aham mameti. So people in this world are typically captivated because of the first thing, which is the illusion, and the illusion is centered around the fact that me and mine, and that's aham and mameti. And where does this start? Rishabhadeva says this starts from Pumsham Striya Maituna Bhavameva Etam. So it starts from the sexual union between the women and the man. And Tayor Mita Hridaya Granthi Mahuhu. And that is the time when the Hridaya Granthi or the knots in the heart are actually strengthened. Ato Griha Kshetra Sutapta Vittair. So because of that, he gets attracted to his home, his country, his suta, the sons or kids, the children born of, and then apta wealth, apta is family, and then vitta is wealth. So this is the gradual process by which the illusion or the soul is completely captivated by illusion. Right? So here is why Srila Prabhupada quotes this beautiful verse about the story about how one should be not swayed by the material, by the glamour of the material world, but rather focus on the real positive, which is the real beauty, which is to focus on Krishna consciousness. So, to talk about this, right? We understand there's the story about how beauty is just skin deep. So, what happens to one who just focuses on the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So, there's a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam which explains, "Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati rakinchana sarver gunas tatra samasate suraha hara akuto mahat gunat manorate nasti dhato bahihi." Says, "Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati rakinchana." So, if one just does continuous devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any material benefit. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati rakinchana. Sarver gunes tatra samasate suraha. So in that person, all the qualities of the demigod, all the beauty, all the riches and everything, anything which we call um, um, uh, uh, beautiful, anything which we call wealthy, all the demigod-like qualities appear in this person. Hara bhaktasya akuto mahat guna manoratena asti dhavato bhakihi. So then but anybody who is not engaged in this consciousness of the Supreme Lord, for that person all he is doing is just going from one material element to one material object to another object, and for him there is no satisfaction. So this is the conclusion of the Shastras, right? So it says the only way we can get real beauty is by focusing ourselves on the Supreme Personality of Godhead's message. So, Srila Prabhupada in the verse 24, he talks about two things. He talks about sin and aparadha. So, sin are the ones which we create because of avidya. Avidya is when we don't have the knowledge or ignorance, we create things which are not conducive, which are not according to the cosmic order, and those becomes sin. But aparadha is actually offense. Offense is when we offend a Vaishnava, right? So here in the verse we saw how even Puranjana talks about a Brahmana or a Vaishnava, they are not under his purview. So Srila Prabhupada quotes about how Prithu Maharaj, he said, even if a Vaishnava or Brahmana commits a grievous act, he is not to be punished by the state because he's beyond them, right? So, yeah, Vaishnava Parada is the mad elephant offense or the Mada Hathi offense. So, Srila Prabhupada talks about it. And in the Namashtakam, it is said, if you so even any amount of sin, like any amount of sin can be just nullified by chanting the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Lord's name is so powerful that it can just nullify any amount of sin. But if one commits offense at the Vaishnavas, then that is not nullified, and that actually degrades one's spiritual life. So the only way Srila Prabhupada quotes there is that if we take to the process of begging and getting pardon from the person who offended. That's the only way we can get past that offense. So sin is okay. We can the holy name is able to get us past these sins. And it says we see in the Praje Prasidam song, it says Aneka Janmar Jita Papa Chauram Chauragrahanyam Purusham Namami. So it says even if there is mountain of sins created from previous Aneka Janma, it is just completely eliminated because Krishna in his name is capable of just eliminating all the sins which were created. But offense is totally a different beast. So, and then Srila Prabhupada talks about how the Vedic governance and the saintly exception, right? We already saw this. Like kings do not punish Brahmana and Vaishnava; they uphold the trans. And anybody who typically the king's duty is to make sure that if anybody creates a transgression, he has to be punished. But a Vaishnava and a Brahmana are in such elevated position. So why are they given this leeway, right? So a Brahmana is a person who Brahman acharati iti Brahmana. A Brahmana is a person who actually is situated in the Brahman realization. So they are like the perceptors of the society. And Vaishnava and the Brahmanas, they both know, as Srila Prabhupada explains, that they both know the gravity of transgressing the laws of nature because they are in such love and ecstasy with the Supreme Lord. They are completely cognizant of the fact that one should not transgress the laws of the nature. So, but even if by some mistake they transgress the laws of nature, they are beyond the purview of the government to be punished. So that's an important point Srila Prabhupada makes it, and that shows the high stature a Brahmana and a Vaishnava should have, and the high moral values and ethics the Brahmana and Vaishnava should have. So those are Srila Prabhupada explains multiple other things in this purport, but the top 4 points, if you want to take from this particular class, is that the aesthetics can override discernment. So basically, how the buddhi is actually taken over by the soul is actually captivated by the allurements of this